up, everybody? Civic fan here from Mustang with the update number 48 on this Friday. So, what's new with the Mustang? Well, it's over 22,000 miles just the past couple of days here, so that's cool. Rolling the miles on, and I'll be rolling a lot more miles on it over this weekend as I'll be driving to Virginia and back to hang out with one of my buddies, and so should be fun. We're gonna probably go to Busch Gardens and things like that, so should be a good time. But anyway, that should rack up close to another 1,000 miles or so on my car here, and so I love just rolling the miles on this car. It's really, I love driving it. And a couple things, it's not quite been a year since I've bought it so far, but just a few things that just have been occurring to me recently that I wanted to share with you guys. The first is I really still love this gearbox. The way it is from the factory, it's so satisfying in the way that it goes in and out of the gears. It's the perfect amount of weight, and the placement is perfect, and the feel and everything. It's just 100%. Like, I love the way it works and feels and sounds. It clicks into gear nicely. Everything is just really satisfying about it, and so I love that. I also I've been using the adjustable steering mode feature a lot more recently. And, there's the separate drive modes, but since I did the Cobb Stage 1 tune, the throttle response is almost identical to the way it is in the Sport Plus mode. And since I don't regularly hang the tail out, whenever I'm driving around, instead of just putting it in the Sport Plus mode, I just put the steering into the different modes. So if I want it heavier some days, I put it in the Sport mode. If I want to, have a more relaxed drive, I actually put it in the Comfort mode, because there's some days where I actually like it lighter than the way it is in the normal setting. And so having the nice light steering is actually really relaxing and cool, and I like that. So just a few little things that, really make a big difference with the Mustang. And the nice thing with the steering modes is that is also on the standard base Mustangs. That's not just the premiums like the drive modes are. So, that's a really nice feature that they include on all of them. And, yeah, just a couple things I really liked about it, that have been occurring to me recently. So, other new things with the Mustang. Well, the part that I have been talking about the past couple of weeks has now officially shipped, so I will tell you what it is now that I have a tracking number and everything. It is the Cobb cold air intake system, and it's cold air, but it's not super low, so I don't have to worry about driving through snow or water and, hydrolocking the engine or anything like that. It's, supposed to be a little bit cooler than factory, but basically the main reason you do it is for the sound. And also, I believe that the Cobb Stage 2 maps, when they eventually come out, they will require the intake. I'm not 100% certain on that, but that's just what I think. So this is also a part that will help with that. And so Cobb's kind enough to send me one of these to review for you guys. So there will be a review of the intake, most likely end of next week, that I'll be posting up for you guys. And so yeah, I'm excited for that. I've never actually had a car with an intake on it since the BRZ. The Mini, I didn't bother putting one on, and the one in the BRZ hardly made much of a difference. That's the thing. I had the air raid intake on the BRZ, and wasn't a huge fan of it, honestly. I mean, I left it on the car because I already bought it and it was whatever, but it didn't really make a whole lot of noise and anything. Now this Cobb one for the Mustang seems to make a good amount of noise. Hopefully it's a little quieter than some of the other ones, though, because I don't want something that's making these crazy like sounds, every time you step on the gas. And so hopefully this will be a little more mature, and Cobb normally goes in airs on the side of mature and grown up over the crazy loud, Canon Typhoon intakes and things like that. So hopefully it'll be tasteful and reasonable. Yeah, as you guys can see, there's a theme here going on with my car of all Cobb parts. So that may be a hint to you for future parts down the road as well. So I'm hoping to do at least one more big mod before the end of this year, as long as everything goes well, fingers crossed. And so, but yeah, very exciting, and I can't wait to get the intake on and see how that sounds. But yeah, so that's it for all the updates on the Mustang, guys. So I'll send it back to me at the news desk for this week's news. Right, for this week's news, the first thing is, as many of you know, this past Wednesday, October 21st, 2015, was Back to the Future Day. Huge thanks to all of you that went and watched the Back to the Future DeLorean review that I did. That was a lot of fun. But anyway, in other Back to the Future themed car news here, Toyota, they really got in on it because they, of course, provided this sweet black 4x4 for the end of the beginning and the end of the first movie and the second and third. And so Toyota wanted to harken back to that Now they did this whole kind of marketing thing around Back to the Future for the Toyota Mirai, and so you can watch the video. I'll include a little card so you can click on that and check that out if you're interested in it. Very cool take on the whole Back to the Future thing. It has Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd in it. But the car that is actually, I think, more marketable is this awesome Back to the Future Toyota Tacoma concept that they made a few of them for promotional duties and things like that, and of course the one that was used in the video that I just linked. And it's awesome though. It is by far, I think, the coolest truck that you could get right now. I mean, it's so awesome the way it's essentially just a clone of the one they did back in 1985, except this one is the brand new Tacoma, is what it's based on, of course. But it looks really cool with the tubular bumpers and the KC fog lights and things like that that are all modernized LED. I'm not sure about those bumpers being able to be, supplied by an OEM, but if Toyota could make a limited run of these, I think that they would sell out immediately. They would be awesome. And that is currently the truck. If I were to get a truck, I'm not a truck guy, but if I were to get a truck, that is the truck I would get. That is awesome and very cool to see that. And yeah, so hopefully they make them. I mean, this is just a concept though. There's no word as to any other what they're going to actually do with them, or if this is just for fun. I'm guessing it's just for fun, sadly, but hopefully they do end up making a limited run. That'd be really cool. Other Toyota news is Toyota has confirmed that the CHR crossover is going to debut at Geneva. Now this is a crossover that it's going to be available in Europe and Japan, but it's also going to probably come to the US in a similar form, and obviously they want to do a small crossover since that's all the rage right now, and so we just know that it's going to be debuting at Geneva. I thought maybe it would come out at Tokyo, a Tokyo Motor Show, but no, it's going to be in Geneva in the late winter, early spring next year. But cool to see that nonetheless. And other Toyota news is Lexus has teased their new luxury concept for the Tokyo Motor Show. By the way, the Tokyo Motor Show, all the debuts and things are going to start around this time next week. So that's why there's a lot of teasers here for Tokyo stuff going on. But all we have is this shot of this very evil looking headlight and obviously very Lexus. But no one knows exactly what this is for. Now, a lot of people say this is a preview of the new LS large sedan that's due for a refresh, I suppose. But, I mean, there's also talks about their, I can't even remember what it's called, the LC, or whatever. They're, basically the return to the SC, the large luxury coupe halo car. This could be that as well. I don't know, but who knows what it is, but cool to speculate nonetheless. And we'll know next week, hopefully. And some really perplexing news here. That's a concept that's going to be shown at Tokyo. Is we just got this teaser image of this Yamaha coupe. Now Yamaha, they don't actually make cars, of course, but they do a lot of car stuff. Obviously they make motorcycles and things like that. They tuned the exhaust for the Lexus LFA. That alone is enough reason for Yamaha to go into business making cars. If they can make the LFA sound that sweet, done deal. Yes, please make cars, make them all sound like an LFA or even remotely close, and you got a winner on your hands. But it looks great. It looks kind of like an RX-7 in a lot of ways, and an NSX in some of the proportions as well. Looks cool from the little teaser we see here. All that they said about it in their press release is it's inspired by the motorcycles and expresses the unique style of Yamaha. So we'll just have to wait and see what that actually turns out to be next week. Something very exciting. Now, I still am a little cautious because I can't fully accept that this may actually be true, but there's more and more rumors about this Mazda coupe that we just have the one teaser image. They said the car will be revealed on October 28th, and we have some new reports here by motoring.com.au that basically, this concept car, it's going to be on display right next to the Cosmos Sport, which was made by Mazda, 50 years ago or whatever. And so there's all kinds of interesting information about this car. So what they said is that first it's going to be called the RX-9. So this is an honest-to-God replacement or, a revival of the RX-7 and RX-8. And it's got all kinds of good bits here. So they said that they're going to be doing, it's called the 16X rotary engine. Now, I reported a few weeks ago about how they're developing a rotary engine. They didn't say what it was for. But now we're hearing, and there's a 1.6 liter two-rotor rotary engine that they're making here. And they said that it's going to have a two-stage electric turbocharger. So it's going to be a regular turbocharger that has electric assistance at lower RPMs. It's also going to be paired with a hybrid powertrain. and that's going to help with emissions since the rotaries are always, not the best with that. But they're saying in the end it's going to have 450 horsepower. Again, this is just what everyone's hearing. I don't know where this is coming from, but that is the report. And so yeah, I mean, they said it sounds like it's going to be a very complicated system, and so hopefully they get it all reliable and it's all good. And here's the best thing about this is that what they've been saying, I guess one of the executives suggested earlier this year that they would like to celebrate the Cosmo's 50th anniversary. And now the Cosmo, they're displaying this car next to the Cosmo at the Tokyo Motor Show, and the Cosmo is going to turn 50 years old in 2017. So this could very well be a production car. I mean, not a car that's actually ready for, this is probably going to be just a concept, but it means that a production version could be arriving within 2 years, which would be amazing. And for some non-Tokyo Motor Show news, the first thing is the Cadillac is launching what's called a Crystal White Frost edition of the ATS-V and CTS-V. And the crazy thing is they're only making 99 of them though, so extremely rare cars. They're only doing 39 of the ATS-V coupes, 31 ATS-V sedans, and 29 of the CTS-V sedans. So the ATS-V is going to be starting at $71,460, and then the CTS-V is going to be $94,900. So yeah, extremely rare, and has just this crystal white frost kind of color to it, and looks pretty sweet. Other GM news is there's lots of cars they're bringing to SEMA, but one car that's actually a non-custom, a car that may actually be coming to production here soon, is the Spark RS, which looks really cool. A little hatchback here, hot hatch, and it's got some larger wheels on it, things like that. We don't know anything more about the actual performance of this Spark RS, but looks like a great little package nonetheless. And there's lots of other things that Chevy's debuting at SEMA, all these new designs with their Redline accessories that they have. So as you can see, they're available for the Camaro, Malibu, the Chevy trucks, all that stuff. And cool little additions there nonetheless for those that want to set theirs apart from every other Chevy out there. Other SEMA news is Ford is bringing a bunch of custom F-150s. We saw the Explorers last week, and this week they're showing off the F-150s. There's some from Roush and Galpin. I particularly like the one with the Gulf livery. That's very cool. But as you can see, there's a bunch of other ones that they're showing off here, and I'm sure there'll be even more that aren't officially with Ford. So cool to see those. And something non-SEMA is the 2016 Honda Civic pricing was leaked. Now this is for the sedan, but it starts at $19,475, which is I think about $150 more than the outgoing model, which is a good deal considering you're getting a car that's obviously nicer, larger, better in every way. And so if you want an automatic though, it's $20,275 starting. But there's going to be various trim levels. You can get the EX for almost 22 grand. You can get an upgraded 1.5 liter turbo engine that's going to up the price to around 23,000. There's the Civic EXL for 24.5, and then the top of the line Civic is almost 27.5 in touring trim, which is a little steep if I'm honest, but it's a larger car now. It's basically almost a mid-size sedan basically. Looks really great, and I think it'll probably sell pretty well. And a car that was spied this past week was the 2017 Chrysler Town & Country. Now I think there were some spy shots before. I don't know how many people that watch this channel actually care about minivans, but I thought this was interesting to talk about because the spy shots just show the front end, and it's basically just stolen Chrysler 200 headlights and plastered them onto the front end of a Chrysler Town & Country, which is interesting though. I mean, the Chrysler 200 is a beautiful car, so having the new Town & Country inspired by that styling is definitely a smart move, I'm sure. And it'll be interesting to see. They said it's going to be sleeker and more graceful looking, so hopefully a little less boxy, and very interesting to see that they're incorporating those elements. And it'll be cool to see what they end up doing in the end. And Volkswagen's officially unveiled the 2016 Passat, and the pricing for it and all that. It's going to be $23,260, and we see how it looks here in the US as well. And it looks pretty good, I gotta say, especially with the R-Line treatment. It looks really great. I love the front bumper on the R-Line there. It looks pretty cool. And again, there's several different models, but it's a very affordable car. It comes, except for the top model, all the other ones come standard with a 1.8 liter turbo engine with 170 horsepower. Same thing you get in the Jetta as the second tier engine in the Jetta, I suppose. But they said that pricing hasn't been released for the TDI version, of course. So yeah, I think, but it's good that they're still continuing to get products out there and you know, continuing this rollout to revive Volkswagen, even despite all the diesel drama. But you know, but the Passats, they're really starting at a good price, $23,260. Very cheap for the amount of car you're getting, and a very nice car too. So cool to see that. They can run all the way up to almost $38,000, but you know, that's a little much at that point, but really a great bargain in the mid-20s. And the last three stories are about electric vehicles. The first is a report that Nissan, they've said this in the past, but there's been a new story that came out this week about how some of the engineers at Nissan said they'd love to build an all-electric GTR. We know that the next generation GTR is probably going to have some type of hybrid power plant, and the electric technology is not there yet for them to make an all-electric GTR. They said if they were going to make one, it would have to be a performance killer in every single way and just be an absolute monster and, you know, beat every other electric car out there and things like that. And so, but, you know, we know the next one will just be probably a hybrid, but for maybe 10 years from now, an all-electric GTR could very well be in the cards. And I mean, with how amazing the Tesla Model S is with ludicrous mode and stuff, I mean, it's going to be tough to beat the Tesla, honestly, but with the way the electric technology is, I'm sure Nissan could build a, you know, 1.5 second 0 to 60 time GTR that's all electric, you know, in 20 or 10 years even. Very exciting to think about that, but in the meantime, we'll just enjoy the good old gasoline versions. Speaking of Tesla, though, Consumer Reports just released findings this week about poor reliability in the Model S. I guess some of the people that have had higher mileage ones, the very, very early Model S's, those are starting to have some issues that require even full electric motor replacements, those sunroof leaks, the door handles don't work properly, a lot of little things like that. And because of it, the Tesla stock took a nice little dive, unfortunately. But the thing is, people don't realize that Tesla's only been around for a few years, and like any new car in general, they have bugs. There's panel gaps on my 2015 Mustang because it's the first model year. That's just the way it goes with, you know, new cars, and especially a new car company. It's completely new from the ground up. The entire company is brand spanking new, essentially. And the Model S is a very recent model as well. It's just, you know, you can't expect too much. And I think that especially the very early models, sure, they're going to have some issues. If the brand new ones had some issues, I'd say, okay, it's been a few years now. But even then, you've got to cut them a little bit of a break because, you know, like I said, it's just they're so new to the market. And I think that what they're doing is very impressive. And the last story this week about electric car again. And this is interesting because the Saab 9III is going to be resurrected, but only in Turkey. In Turkey, they bought the rights to the Saab 9III, so all the intellectual rights. So they're basically going to be building Saab 9IIIs as their domestic car. They want this to be the car of Turkey, but they're going to be all electric. They're going to do electric versions of them, and so they said it was cheaper than just making their own car company and doing all that on their own. They have an existing car that is still pretty good looking, even, you know, a few years later here. And a good car, I guess, and so they decided, hey, we'll just put an electric power plant in it and be good to go. So that's what they're going to be doing. So if you want a new Saab, you're going to have to go to Turkey for it. But yeah, nonetheless, still cool to see that Saab will live on in one way or another. So anyway, that's it for all the news this week, guys. So I'll send it back to me in the car. All right, so I'll leave you guys with a nice little acceleration here like I always do. We'll do a second gear pull here onto the highway. Such great performance. It's only going to get better as the mods continue to come on. So anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care.